Hey, what's going on, everybody? So this year I have noticed that there has been a lot of posts on some of the pages I'm involved in for different kayaking and paddling groups, and it looks like there's been a lot of theft of kayaks and canoes, and these thefts can take place anywhere from people's homes to different rivers or lakes people are on. They leave their boats and someone will come by and grab them. And I've actually even seen reports of people's boats being taken right off the top of their vehicle. And so there's been a lot of questions out there. How do you lock up your boat? How do you secure your boat? So the first thing I'll say is, even locked up, there's never a 100% guarantee. It's unfortunate, but paddling really seems to have taken off as a hobby lately. So just understand that anything you do can minimize the risk of a boat being taken, but unless you're there with it at all times, it is always going to be at risk. So I'll show you what it is that I did to minimize the chances of the boat being stolen. So this is my current design's Whistler, and what I did to lock up this boat was I took and installed this heavy steel ring, and get you a shot of it there. Have bolts coming through. These are carriage bolts, but they have lock nuts on them, and then just this steel ring. And I run a steel cable through that steel ring and then around a tree or whatever. The outside of the boat, you can see I use carriage bolts. Carriage bolts are just bolts with a rounded end on them, so there is nowhere for a wrench to get on these. And so they're just smooth, that way it's not something I catch on the outside of the boat or anything. I used a rubber washer and then silicone the holes when I ran the bolt through. And then on the inside, like I said, I used locking nuts, which are nuts that are much harder to get off unless you have a wrench and tools to get them off. So something you can do if you don't want to put holes in your boat, and this is especially helpful if you have a composite boat, is just run your cable around your seat mount. Again, that's something that can be broken off if they want the boat bad enough, but it is a way to lock the boat without putting any additional holes in it. Some people will run the lock through handles and stuff like that. Of course, that can be cut or broke off. So then one thing you can do too is if you have a seat, this is my cheaper Pelican kayak, it's only a 10-foot, if you have a seat that doesn't have a way for you to wrap the cable around the mount, I actually just drilled a hole in the side of the seat here that the cable can fit through. I always recommend, if you're gonna drill into your boat, so you know what you're doing, or have somebody do it for you that you're confident can put it in an area that's not going to compromise the structural integrity of the boat or anything. But this being a cheapy 10-foot kayak, I wasn't too worried about it. But I even lock up this one because I just don't want to have any risk of anybody taking it. Use my 1/4-inch cable on this one. So, but it's just one more way to lock up the boat. So there is always ways to lock the boat, so you just got to be careful and pick which way is going to work best for you. Again, you know, it's always going to be a way to slow down someone stealing the boat if you decide to lock it up. Nothing's a guarantee. One of my hobbies is actually bypassing locks and lock picking and stuff like that. I love defeating locks. I think it's fun. So I understand that there's only so much you can do to completely reduce that risk. So the locks I like to use are these master locks, and they have a set your own combo on them. I think they're great. And that way you don't have to try to keep a key with you. You can just undo the combination. This is my preferred cable lock. So it's a steel cable. I think it's 12 foot long, and has 2 looped ends on it. And again, this is something that could be cut, but it'll just slow down how long or how quickly someone can make away with your boat. So when your boat is on your vehicle, this is my homemade truck mount, but lock around this. If you have a vehicle that doesn't have a rack that you can get a cable around, you can always roll down your windows slightly and go around your 2 door jambs. And that'll just be one more way to secure the boat when it's out of your sight. And yeah, heavy duty cable. I do have a cable that I think is a 1/4-inch. I think this is a 3/8 inch. And the 1/4-inch works too. It's a little bit lighter weight and is an option, but that 3/8 inch cable, the thicker you can go, the better. So one thing you can do to maximize your cable length is when you go around whatever your object is, whether it's a seat mount or a steel ring that you have installed, instead of just going halfway and then joining your 2 looped ends, which basically takes your 12-foot cable and makes it a 6-foot cable, go around your object and then go through the one looped end and pull it tight, and that essentially gives you you know, again, almost your whole 12-foot cable again. And then from there you could just go around a tree, whatever it is, and lock that way. So lock would go through there around your object, and now you have, you know, considerably more cable to work with. So it's just a little trick there. Obviously you want to make sure you lock to something that is sturdy, like a tree, something that may be like a signpost or something that the cable can't be wrapped over the top of, or really anything that you can use that can't be defeated simply by wrapping the cable over the top of it. So like I said, boats being stolen right now is a very big problem. There was a guy on the Mississippi River this year who had paddled all the way from northern Minnesota down to just past St. Louis. He ran into town, came back, and all of his gear was gone. He thought it would be you know, a small town, so no one would mess with any of his gear, but just a few minutes he was gone. He came back and his entire rig with all of his gear is gone. His trip down to Mississippi now is essentially over because everything's gone. So it's really unfortunate, but it is just kind of the way things are when paddling has become as popular as it has. You know, there's a lot of stores that are actually they don't even have the stock right now of more boats. So keep your ride safe, lock it up. Even if you're just going to be gone for a moment, make sure you lock it up so it's there when you get back. It's a real drag to come back and have your trip ruined because someone wanted to take your stuff, and it only takes a second to lock it, so make sure you do it. If you guys have any questions, throw them down below. Of course, I'm always willing to help you out with that. If nothing else, I hate to be one of those guys, but please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. We'll see you on the next one.